it's really important to fund research by paleontologists because it teaches us a lot about life and zoology and biology and the way things work in the world, not just sort of over the course of several million years, but now, today, we can learn things from the past that have an impact on what's alive and living today. We can see how certain extinction events or changes in chemical composition or temperatures have affected things in the past, and then further on to now. We can also look at the sort of lifestyles and behaviours of animals that can be difficult in the fossil record, but still is determinable. And we can apply some of that to some of the creatures living today. So it can help with looking after those creatures, caring for them, rehabilitating anything that sort of may be close to extinction. We might even be able to find out information about them to protect them from looking at the fossil record in the past.
Paleontological research can be applied in many, many different fields. One of the things that I know surprised me when I came here as a first year was we learnt about how sedimentary structures and understanding how sediment and rocks are formed can actually inform our idea of other planets. So Mars, we now believe, had running water in the past because it has sedimentary rocks that appear to have been laid down by running rivers. And that's something that is part of paleontology, which informs not only our own world but also potentially others. The idea of potentially going to another planet and looking at the rocks and being able to say there was water here once, or maybe even being able to find maybe there's not life now but there was, or there was starts, signs of bacteria or anything that could happen if we eventually go to planets and start doing this research. And that's something that paleontology can really help us with.
Well, if we don't fund it, then we don't make all of these fantastic discoveries like coloration in dinosaurs, or what sort of brain structure they had. So some dinosaurs had more crocodilian-like brains and some had more avian brains. We can tell how smart they were and all these wonderful things. We wouldn't ever find them out if we didn't have the funding. We wouldn't be able to track human evolution either. We wouldn't know about Lucy, probably the first erect and somewhat competent human ancestor to all of us. We wouldn't figure out about the Neanderthals and all of their genes. It helps see our evolution and the world's evolution and where it could end up, which will help us in the future with stuff like our environments and trying to save what we have now.
I think it's really important to know who we are as well as people, how we've evolved as a species over time. It's sort of critically important to find out how everything has come to be as it is, because you learn how the future is going to go by looking back at the past and inferring on from that.
So things like paleoclimate studies will be able to tell us how much is normal for our planet to rise and fall in temperature, the kind of changes we might be able to expect when that happens, and possibly help us to figure out how to stop it if we think it's going too fast, like we think it is now. Really, there is so much to learn that the past can tell you so much information that not only tells you how things used to be, but helps you inform how things are now and how things might be in the future. And I think that's really important.
If we don't fund it, we're not going to know that, and we can't help what we know today with conserving our species that are still going extinct for several reasons. That some of us we're causing, but some are just natural occurring. Or we can't help the melting of the ice caps and all of this that will affect the future generations.